Hello, everyone. Welcome to Queer Lawyers Speak, hosted by LAGBAC, Chicago's LGBTQ plus bar association. My name is Adam Zebelian, and this is the first show that I get to introduce myself as the immediate past president of LAGBAC, Chicago's LGBTQ plus bar association. I am also a partner at Schiller, DeCanto, and Fleck, where I practice family law. And today we have a special guest with us, the newly elected president of LAGBAC, Vincent Rizzo. Vince, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. So why don't you introduce yourself to the audience as the new leader of the Queer Bar Association here in Chicago?
Yeah, so my name is Vincent Rizzo. I'm really excited to be the new president of LAGBAC. I'm excited to get to work and take over from Adam's great work. So just like a little bit about myself. I know I'm gonna get into it a little more today, but I'm a partner at Hinshaw & Culbertson. I've been on LAGBAC since at least 2016.
On the board?
Just as a member since probably
okay.
2016, but on the executive board probably since at least 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a bit. So in terms of prior roles within the organization, I was secretary, as you recall, and then after that I became your VP.
And now you're president.
And now I'm president, so.
With a budget and 22 board members, all of whom are lawyers, 4 of which are actually judges, to keep track of.
Yeah, and right. I mean, we have a really fantastic executive board behind me as well. So we have newly elected treasurer, a newly elected secretary, and then the other executive board roles. So it's a fantastic executive board coming on for the 26th year, and I'm really excited to see what we can do.
You're actually the second president that's been a partner at Hinshaw. I think Judge Horan,
yes,
before she got on the bench, because she was 2 presidents ago, well, I guess now 3 presidents ago, before she got elected, she was president of LAGBAC, and she was a partner at Hinshaw.
That is correct, and I mean, obviously, I knew Judge Horan was a prior president, but I didn't kind of put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, so I would be at least the second Hinshaw partner who has taken the role as president of LAGBAC.
Which is cool because Hinshaw is such an LGBTQ-friendly firm. In fact, we were just at your firm for our retreat, our board retreat. Or no, maybe it was an event, and you all were handing out Hinshaw swag
Yes.
that was, a Hinshaw sweater that had a label that had your logo, and it was all in rainbow. And by the way, the sweater's amazing.
Yeah, I actually I
free advertisement. I should get paid for it, but
yeah, thanks for
I
that.
was looking out for you guys.
So Hinshaw is definitely an inclusive firm where. We do have quite a few LGBTQ plus attorneys at the firm, and so it's a big part of our firm, and they're so supportive of the community and just of me, and we definitely have Hinshaw's support coming into the 2026 year.
And Hinshaw's a big law firm. You have offices all around the country, don't you?
Correct. So we have offices nationwide. We have about I don't know the exact number, but we have over 500 attorneys, right?
Oh wow, that's a lot.
So we're pretty big, and
do you have firms overseas?
We have an office in London, but I think it's quite small. So it's primarily just domestically here in the United States.
Okay. And you do some of your practice out in California.
I do. So,
what do you practice? What's your area of practice?
Yeah. So right now I'm kind of, to be honest, a little bit all over the place. But my primary practice area is employment litigation. So I handle quite a few wrongful termination cases, whistleblower cases, really any sort of litigation that involves an employee's termination or some sort of complaints by an employee.
But you're on the employer side.
Yes, so I'm on the employer side representing the company.
Because in employment law, there is a difference. You either typically are the employee's lawyer or the employer's lawyer. There's not usually an overlap. I've never heard of anyone doing both sides.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to kind of do both sides. I am not familiar with really anyone doing both sides either. I mean, I guess it's theoretically possible. I'm sure people do it, right? But yeah, I only represent the company and only defend these cases. But that's really my primary practice area is employment litigation. From that, I advise and counsel employers on employee relationships, right, throughout the year and any sort of legal updates or new case law, right? So I'm also advising employers quite constantly on just new updates or just what they should do, or if there's any sort of issue that arises with an employee, they normally will bring me on to make sure that they are in compliance with the law. I also handle quite a few 1983 cases for
What's a 1983 case?
So that's a civil rights case. So if there's a lot of that has to do with police misconduct, so that generally falls under the 1983 kind of realm, right?
Which is the section code in which you can sue, right?
Yeah, it's a civil rights statute. And so it allows plaintiffs to sue police officers for misconduct. And so I handle quite a few cases for the city of Chicago and its employees in those types of cases. There's actually quite a few, there's a lot of overlap, right, with employment laws and Section 1983. It's all kind of civil rights.
Never thought of that before, but I guess that is all kind of in the same genre.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of all, civil rights based. So there's quite a few overlapping concepts and ideas.
So then the city of Chicago contracts out work to your firm.
Correct.
And then because you came from the city of Chicago.
Yeah, so I was just going to mention, so prior to Hinshaw, I was with the city of Chicago for, how long was I there? I started in 2013, I left in 2018, so however long that is. And so I was there for
5 years.
Yeah, for quite some time. So when I graduated law school, I became...
At Michigan State, go
at
green.
Michigan State,
yeah,
go white.
Where I went to undergrad.
Yeah, so after law school, I started, I forget what the title was. It wasn't interning. It was kind of like a...
Extern?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't totally remember the title, but it was basically waiting for your bar results, right? So it was kind
bar
of...
taker? That's what we were called at the state's attorney's office when I was there. We were called the bar takers before we were actually licensed, but after we took the bar.
I don't remember. But so I went to the city right after law school, and I was handling administrative citations or tickets. So like towing or building code violations, animal control issues, just like various administrative notices that are issued to citizens of Chicago, right? Or I guess
parking violations?
Non-residents too. Some parking violations, a lot of the parking stuff is actually handled in criminal courts, but some of that stuff is handled at the administrative hearing office. So I handled those. It was actually quite interesting because they really just throw you in because it's pretty minor violations, right? So
as long as someone has their hands on it, it's fine. That's kind of the mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's, I think they're like, all right, get it done.
Right.
I mean, there's so many, right? So there's a lot of volume, and so I started doing that. It was really pretty good experience, right? Just to get yourself like in front of an administrative hearing judge, kind of like understanding kind of how to be on your feet, be questioned by a judge. So it was a really good start to my legal career. And then from there, I went to the City of Chicago's Federal Civil Rights Litigation Division, which handles pretty complex litigation. So it was I would say, a pretty big change because we were going now into like civil litigation, right?
In federal court.
Correct.
Where Chicago police officers are getting sued.
Correct. And so, it was a big change in the sense that now we're dealing with discovery and depositions and trials, right? And so
And high stake cases too, and under a lot of scrutiny.
Correct. And I will say it was such an amazing opportunity for me in my career to kind of get that experience, and then B, just the team was just outstanding. Like the people over at the City of Chicago, particularly the FCRL division.
What's the FCRL?
So that's Federal Civil Rights Litigation.
Yeah.
They are just incredible.
Very talented lawyers that work within the Corporation Counsel's office. Because you were under the Corporation Counsel, right?
Yeah, so my title at that time was Assistant Corporation Counsel. So I handled so many cases over there because, again, there's a lot of volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was handling a ton of cases. Eventually, I decided to leave the City of Chicago and go into private practice, where I ended up at Hinshaw & Culbertson. Again, I just feel just incredibly lucky to have landed at a firm that I really just feel so connected to, and I just feel like it's just the right fit for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I don't think everyone really feels that way necessarily.
Hinshaw's a great place to work. I mean, I love my law firm, but I always thought if I left, maybe I'd...
Yeah, we've been trying to get this guy.
Yeah, head over to Hinshaw.
Well, you should keep considering it if you ever get bored.
Well, it is bonus time, so maybe my managing partner's listening. But no, just kidding. I love it at my firm. But anyway.
So I landed at Hinshaw after interviewing at quite a few places, and ended up really being the right fit for me. And at Hinshaw, I think, expanded kind of the scope of my work. I, at that time, started doing employment litigation,
Mm-hmm.
which, as I mentioned earlier, is kind of now my primary practice area, right? So, so I expanded my scope, and being at a private firm where they have so many practice areas, right?
And resources, which is sort of what you're saying. But,
right.
I mean, if you have an issue in one of your employment cases, it's related to some contract issue, can run down and talk to the the business team. Like you have all these resources that you did not have at the city.
Yeah, the resources are definitely different, right?
Yeah.
And you have 500 plus attorneys there as well, and just the work there. I mean, they do really everything except divorce. And I think there's another. We don't do criminal stuff either,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but
Even white collar?
we do white collar stuff,
And probably tax stuff too.
yeah,
Criminal tax.
and we do tax work. So, we do practice in like pretty much every practice area except
Mm-hmm.
just a limited number of areas where we are not in. But the reason I say that is because by having all these practice areas kind of at my disposal, I'm kind of able to pick, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. And so that's how I was able to expand my career into employment litigation. And most recently, another expansion is that I took the California bar exam.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I took it. I'm really bad with dates because I am like forgetting
After
dates, but
COVID, dates just don't.
I know it was it was actually a COVID choice. It was a COVID bar exam.
I made some COVID choices too, which were, I'm glad I made the choices, like going back to law school to get another degree. I'm glad I made the choice. If COVID hadn't happened, I would have never done that, but.
Right, and I feel almost similar in the sense that I may have not taken the California bar exam if it wasn't for COVID.
One of my professors, when I went and got a master's in tax law, said that COVID allowed people to think too much, because you were home.
You were bored.
You're bored.
Yeah.
You're thinking. You're thinking too much. You're not out talking to people. You're assessing your life and where it should go and what happens if this doesn't change. And
Yeah.
it gave people an opportunity to think too much. But anyway, so you took the California bar, but you're not sure when.
I think it was in 2020, I believe.
Okay. Oh, actually in COVID.
Yeah. So there were quite a few reasons why. First of all, I have always wanted to potentially move out there.
I want to move out there too, but
Yeah,
it's too late for me. I'm older than you. It's set in stone here.
We'll see. I don't think it's really ever going to become my life anytime soon, but it was kind of this dream of mine, right? Like, let's move to California.
Because you have an office in LA.
So we have an office in Los Angeles as well as San Francisco.
Okay.
So it made sense for me for that reason. I kind of always thought it would be interesting to travel to two different jurisdictions and be able to work in both jurisdictions.
I think it makes you a better lawyer when you practice in multiple jurisdictions.
I agree.
You pick up things that are done differently in other jurisdictions, which might be good or bad, but at least you know that there's other ways of doing things, which I think improves your practice.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, and from taking the bar exam, I've been able to get a lot more work out there. So I'm traveling to California quite a bit to handle cases that I have out there. And it's just, honestly, it's fun, right? It's like I get to travel to California during
Expense
the
it
month.
as a business expense.
Yeah, I mean, if it makes sense. I mean, for the most part, the firm's paying for it, for sure.
Right.
But
And they're expensing it, but yes.
yeah.
So I got a question for you. Were you out when you were in law school? Because you graduated in 2013.
Yeah, so I graduated in 2013. So I was not very out in law school. I mean, I think people knew I did have a boyfriend, but I wasn't out and proud, if that makes sense, right?
Yes.
So I was getting there. Right before law school was really kind of, I would say, the start of my coming out process.
Yeah, it was a process for me too.
Yeah.
So where did you go to undergrad then?
I went to Bradley University in Peoria.
Okay, here in Illinois.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
So then after that, I actually interned for the law department of PETA, and they basically put all the interns up in a house, and you stay in this house for the summer in DC. It was the coolest.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It was the coolest experience, but everyone there, including the interns, were just so welcoming and open, and the house had quite a few LGBTQ plus individuals, right? And so it really was this eye-opening experience for me, and I was able to start my coming out process. So I was out there because
it's DC.
I mean, it's it's DC.
You're working for PETA, yes.
And there was other gay men there, and
you felt comfortable to come out, or at least start the process. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I had,
So that was after you were in law school, though.
It was right before law school.
Oh, I thought you interned as a legal intern.
I did.
Oh,
so,
you went back to PETA.
So no, so right before law school, I was an intern for their law department.
I see.
But before law school. But yeah, I dated my first guy there, and then went to law school, and kind of with that mindset, right? I was finally kind of able to be myself a little more coming from that experience. And so then I went into law school, definitely was not completely out, but I did kind of explore and went to gay bars. And
Because there are gay bars in Lansing, not East Lansing, but in
yes. I'm trying to think of the name. Spiral,
yes.
Yeah.
In undergrad, I would secretly go there myself because I wasn't out in undergrad. I had a couple people that knew.
Okay.
That I would make go with me because
Yeah.
back then there weren't like Ubers, so you'd have to get a taxi to
yes.
get from East Lansing to Lansing.
And that's so funny you say that, because now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I did have a few kind of people that I went to the gay bar with.
Right.
And we had to drive there.
Right. So someone had to stay sober. And
Yes. Yeah.
And it certainly wasn't you when you were finding yourself at Spiral.
Well, and, we're on TV here, so I took my sober
friends. So you were starting the process in law school, but then the city of Chicago, you moved to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come out then?
So in law school, I had a boyfriend. I was pretty much out kind of near the end of law school, came to Chicago. I'm like thinking about my life here as you ask these questions, but
you don't tell your coming out story every day?
No, I don't. But so then I moved in with my boyfriend when I came to Chicago.
And is he your husband today?
He is not.
Oh, it's a different.
But we do live together.
Oh, it's the same. It's your partner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started living together here in Chicago, and then at that point it was kind of just, each year you became more gay, right?
Right.
At least publicly, and so at work, like I kind of started to be more out, and yeah.
Okay, and now you're president of the Queer Bar Association.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are your plans for LAGBAC going forward?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think I think my biggest thing with this particular organization is just making sure that every single LGBTQ plus lawyer, law student feels that they have a place within our organization, right? And you've done an amazing job doing that and making sure everyone feels comfortable, right?
Thank you.
I think that we have, as an organization, have really focused on that, and we've made some significant progress in that way. But I think there's always room to improve, and so I think being what our organization is, right, which is is the Chicago's LGBTQ plus Bar Association, right? And so I just really want to make sure that every single member of our organization feels that they have a safe place within this organization, that they feel welcomed, and that we are really including them in every single aspect of our organization. And so and particularly, I think when I say that, I think what I mean is really focusing a little more maybe on our trans members and our non-binary members, who I know we have we've had some events for them, and we have a new committee on that issue, which is called, I believe, the Trans Plus Committee. Yep. So that is really, in my head, kind of the overarching mentality that I'm coming into this bar association with as president, like just making sure every single person feels just like welcomed, right? And that they can come to every event and just have fun, feel welcomed, feel like everyone's there to just talk and kind of hang out and network, and feel the same way that I do when I go to these events, right? I go in and I have fun. I know people. Everyone is welcoming. So I want to make sure that everyone is having that kind of same experience.
Well, that's great. And our community has many sub-communities and we're a diverse community within the LGBTQ plus community, and it's important that everyone feels that they are an active participant in our organization. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So any specific goals?
Yeah, I think in terms of goals, obviously, as a bar association, I think one of the main goals is always to increase membership, right? And I think going back to what we've just discussed, which is, trying to be a safe space for everyone, I think increasing our membership with, hopefully having more trans lawyers be members of our bar association, more non-binary individuals becoming members of our organization, right? So I think that is one goal, is to increase membership. I think we can also certainly probably offer like more CLEs.
Which is a continuing legal education programming. So
Yes.
more programming so that lawyers can meet their continuing legal education credit obligations, as well as really informing the community as to what's going on, which we're doing this weekend with
the Transgender Day of Remembrance.
yes.
Yeah.
on
Also,
Sunday.
today is, by the way, Transgender Day of Remembrance.
It is, yes.
So, but yeah, so increasing membership, increasing the number of CLEs that we offer, and probably just, in terms of other goals that I am contemplating, I think just having some new events maybe, right? Like I'm trying to sit down at some point and talk to our members about like what's missing, right? And so I think one idea is to send an email out to our organization to kind of gauge interest in new events or new CLEs, kind of just gauging what our membership really is interested in and kind of what we may be missing at this point, right? So those are kind of my preliminary goals. Obviously, I just became president. What was it, last week?
Last week, yes. Yeah.
So I definitely want to talk to the membership and figure out kind of where they're at, what they need, and then go from there.
That's great. So it looks like we're almost out of time. I usually ask people's coming out story, but we kind of already went through that. I mean, so there was no like big party or
I would say
some dramatic coming out story.
I wouldn't say there was a big party. I wish there was.
It sounds like you got a boyfriend in DC and then you slowly introduced your boyfriend to people. That's not bad. I mean, my coming out process was slow as well.
Yeah.
Although when I moved to Pennsylvania for law school, I just came completely out. I changed my profile on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Remember? Because it used to say,
as like gay.
back in the day, it was, straight, gay. It had the different.
I actually don't remember that.
You're too young. So that's why you don't remember it. You're more of an Instagram generation than
I mean, I'm not
Facebook.
that much younger than you, but yes, I think. But yeah, no big coming out story. Got a boyfriend, wanted him to start coming to family things, so I told my mom, and they were very supportive, and here I am now.
Well, great.
Yeah.
And LAGBAC is lucky to have you as
Thank you.
president, and I know you'll do great things, and thank you for coming on today, Vince.
Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate it.
All right, everyone. It was nice seeing you, and we'll see you again soon.